Hello, hello, hello. We're back. We're back in the room. We're here again. How did this happen? I do not know. How did it happen? Think Tank. It's the 7th studio album from Blur, released 5th of May 2003. Oh, what was the 5th of May 2003? What was that? Let's pull up the thing. 5th of May 2003. I need to look at the... what day was that? That was a Monday, wasn't it? Yeah, so... I want to get it in my head. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. 2003. A lot happened for me in 2003. There's a lot of things happening. Something happened. I'm trying to get everything. 2003. In May 2003, we went away. We was on a business trip. Because I remember listening. It's coming back to me. A lot of things happened. 2003 was a big year. We did a lot of travelling and went a lot of places and did a few gigs and whatnot. And this album, sorry for the slow start there. You know what I'm like. No preparation, because you know what I'm like. I'm terrible. I remember listening to this on the plane. It's 56 minutes 4 seconds long. Out of Time had been released as a single. It's an anti-war album because we had the whole Gulf War II, Electric Boogaloo thing going on, and I remember the video to Out of Time was set on a naval aircraft carrier, I believe. It's about people being separated, by the war and whatnot, and I thought it was an all right kind of song. It was a maudlin number. Again, a bit of an odd choice as like a big comeback, because you've got to remember that this album marks the departure of Graham Coxon. They're effectively a three-piece. Graham Coxon appears on the last track of the album, "Battery in My Leg," which again is such a ludicrous title for a song. I always laugh when I say it. And I thought, well, again at the time, I thought it was a pretty odd choice as a first single, because it's quite a downbeat, maudlin kind of track. It's the second track on the album, following Ambulance. Again, listen to it. I thought it was an interesting thing. Ambulance I enjoyed. I didn't think Out of Time was a bad album track. Probably not a good choice for a single. But again, it's a very choppy album because there's quite a few different people working on it. It's, again, this feels more like rather than being a Blur album, it's more like a Damon Albarn Projects album, because a lot of the work he did with Gorillaz, that kind of beaty kind of stuff, has seeped in. In terms of production, it feels very much in places like something like a Gorillaz album. His African influences are all over this too. Again, that's not a bad thing, but I don't know. I just didn't think it worked with Blur being so predominantly British, and having a British kind of aspect to them, having world music influences just seemed out of sorts. Just seems out of sorts. Yeah, I don't like this record. I really don't like it. All I've got to say is Crazy Beat, which was the second single, and it's not a good single. I quite like Jets, The sample that they use on Jets is good, but the rest of it, oh, we've got a file on you is one of the usual kind of crazy, like Chinese bombs type thing. It's got like album of the year. A lot of press really loved it, and gave it album of the year. I have got nothing else to add to it, and I listened to it. And just thinks it's even worse than 13. I mean, it's not that it's a bad thing. I think some of the kernels of the ideas on it would have been probably good Gorillaz tracks. And again, with Albarn's latter experiments with African music, I think it makes sense. But in the context of a Blur album, I think again, I like bands being progressive, but there's a point where you kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's what you get here. And to me, it feels messy and unfocused, a bit like the 13 album. I mean, Fatboy Slim, doesn't he produce Good Song, I believe, which is interesting. Using different people and that, but I don't know. It's just such an awful album. William Orbit again helps with the production, same with Ben Hillier. Again, you can tell there's 3 different external producers. That's not a good thing. When there's more producers on the album than equal producers to members. There'd be 3 Blur members and 3 producers. It's you can see where the album's going. I don't really see it as a Blur album. I mean, I know you can tire of the whole kind of Britpop era, but there's a certain Englishness that comes with them. That's their MO. It's the modus operandi. And here, like I say, it feels like all of Albarn's extracurricular activities have seeped in, and you lack Coxon's spiky edge, and his weird edge is kind of missing as well. So yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it then. It wasn't that I was disappointed with it. Again, I bought it on the day of release. I gave it a fair listen, and I've listened to it today, and I don't know. It's funny because the career of Blur and Oasis, they kind of are parallels. They had these very strong, interesting albums, and then they all just kind of run out of steam towards this the millennial point. It's kind of like their message has been told, and that's the end for them. So yeah, it's an odd one. And I know it's good when bands move into different areas, but I think when you're so divorced from where you've come from and what's made you, I think and it's that thing of the whole lead singer's disease. Maybe they keep their best stuff back for their side projects or their solo projects now, and I think this is what you saw. I think this is what you saw with 13 and this. I think Albarn again, he's starting to have other irons in the fire. He's got other projects that he's interested in, and I think he's maybe keeping some of his better ideas for those projects, and they're kind of adrift. And I think again, it's like any band, when they lose a member, you either got to replace them with somebody exceptional, or you're going to limp along. And they're limping along. And looking at the Wikipedia page, I'm in the exception. I mean, a lot of the press gave this like 4 star, 4, 5. Uncut gave it a 5-star review. Like I said, it was in the top. The Observer made it album of the year #1. Q number 2 in the album of the year. But funny enough, top 100 albums of the 2000s, it only made 59. But yeah, I'm trying to find some of the other ones. whereas uncut it came in at 62, even though they gave it a 5-star review. So yeah, bit all over the place. Yeah, that's it. I've tried to stretch this one out, I'm afraid, and I'm all I can say is I apologise for the poor quality of this review. It's highly reflective of the shit album with a shit cover by Wanksy, probably the worst artist ever. And yeah, that's it. That's Stink Tank. Yeah, we'll call it Stink Tank. I think that's fair. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching. If anyone's got this, because YouTube's acting a bit weird lately. And oh god, Magic Whip. Really? Do we have to go there? If we're going to be complete, I suppose we have to, don't we? Anyway, thank you for watching. There's only one more thing left to say. That is ta.